This is not unusual. You know, if they decided to say, all right, we're going to pull the we're going to pull the curtain back and show you what we know,
and you wield it into a military weapon.
At Wild 3 Bruce, Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. When think about tomorrow's papers, can you spell cover up? Why? The old adage, like Hoagland, you said a few weeks back in Code, curiosity might be killed. Why? If it gets too curious? Why? Maybe because it rose up in a pyramid, Mount Sharp, the top of the pyramid in the circle, which represents me roving up to the UFO diaries. Look at that, people, the faces of Mars. Richard, I still want those faces. Here's the torture line. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Wow.
He should have his own show.
Yes, he should. I think maybe he was, well. All right.
The voice sounds familiar. I'm trying to place who he was. It'll come to me when I'm off the air.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
well, maybe that's the best place for it. Paul in Minneapolis on Wild 4. Are you there?
Yes. Hello, gentlemen. Wow, that was intense. I'm not going to be like that guy, but anyway, much respect for both of you. And
look, it makes all those shows, those Bond shows, all the imitators, pale by comparison. This is real geopolitical high stakes poker, and nobody visibly yet is admitting what the
mad Martians
have done
down through time.
And in science, what we want is for independent replication of stunning, extraordinary phenomenon by finding something.
And this is a political dichotomy which to this day is astonishing and perplexing, and no one has figured it out. I think we have, but no one else.
The NASA individuals here that may know about it, of course, would never make a comment on it.
And the whole historical context, Gary, I think has been completely unappreciated, partly through ignorance.
And depreciated, maybe by force.
And partly by design. I think there has been a political effort to demean any unusual interpretations of our past.
Yep. Well, former NASA consultant and science writer Richard Hoagland claims a rogue group inside NASA may have pulled the plug on the mission. Why? He says to stop further investigation into mysterious pictures. Mr. Hoagland says they are evidence of intelligent life.
Strange things I know. Use the key, unlock the door. See what your fate might have in store. Come explore your dreams' creation. Enter this world of imagination. Explore your dreams' creation. Enter this world of imagination.
You know, once again, Richard, I have to ask, when you see the craziness that is, pervading everything now, I don't know why, but these two guys,
Mad Martian.
And
I'm NASA and you're not?
Fighting with
The UFO divers.
Faces on Mars.
Cover-up controversy.
Down.
Through time.
I mean, there's a method here to this part of the madness.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You're it. Quincy's. Anti-Quincy's. You're it, Quincy's. No anti-Quincy's, no startsies. You can't do that. Can't do. Cannot. Stamped it. Can't do double stamped it, no erases. Cannot. Triple stamped it, no erases. Tough blue, make it true. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lloyd. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. Lloyd. You guys! Enough!
This is not unusual, but it seems awfully unusual.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's not unusual. So, this has been going on for a long time.
Over the last 8 years.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
These two guys,
Mad Martian.
And
I'm NASA and you're not?
Fighting with
The faces on Mars.
Mysterious pictures.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But when you see the
UFO divers.
When you see these
faces on Mars.
Organization, at least as it's presented to us.
Down.
Through time.
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
Mysterious pictures.
Mad Martian.
And just rolling over everybody.
Down.
Through time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
For that arrogance, I shall see you dead.
Mad Martian.
Yeah. All right, you primitives, listen up.
Down.
Through time.
See this?
UFO divers. Sidonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model. This.
UFO divers. Sidonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model. Is my boomstick. It's a 12-gauge double-barreled Remington. S-Mart's top of the line.
Down.
Through time.
You can find this in
UFO divers.
Sporting Goods Department.
In the region designated as Sidonia.
That's right, you primitives. This sweet baby was made
in a Masonic lodge in 1993.
Retails for about $195. It's got a walnut stock, cobalt blue steel, and a hair trigger. That's right. Shop smart. Shop S-Mart. You got that?
And then you got a statistic like...
My feeling is that we have been managed toward this moment.
Down.
Through time.
Not by people who, A, want to get rid of and want to kill off.
Mad Martian.
And all that crap, which is wonderful, exquisite distraction, is it not? It makes you think of the managers as your enemies as opposed to quietly managing for success.
And you see that, we armed them and we trained them, and you see this craziness.
It makes you think of the managers as your enemies as opposed to quietly managing for success.
This is not unusual, but it seems awfully unusual. While you and I might sit here and say, if they decided to say, all right, we're going to pull we're going to pull the curtain back and show you what we know.
We have a lot of spacefaring radio shows on this planet tonight.
Coast to Coast AM.
The Unexplained.
Caravan to Midnight.
And the Haggmann Haggmann report.
Let me make a disclosure here, and I just want to protect everyone here.
Look,
Mad Martian.
Makes, all those radio shows, all those imitators, pale by comparison.
Mad Martian.
And just rolling over everybody.
Down.
Through time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And all of them, all those imitators have had for some time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The capability to basically blow the doors off the big picture.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which is that from studying
the faces on Mars,
imagery from NASA, etc.
We got them from Hoagland, we got them from NASA, and there you are. I mean, one of them's going to say, yeah, those are ours.
Which are our pictures.
I'm NASA and you're not? That every one of those players, all those imitators, and a lot that I haven't mentioned, have all agreed to keep totally silent about, which is the real hidden history of NASA.
I'm NASA and you're not?
You're despicable.
That man has fingers in all the proper assholes. He wiggles them and everything shit's gold.
And all of them, imitators, have had for some time the capability to basically blow the doors off the big picture.
The faces on Mars.
Cover-up controversy.
The reason I'm going into this backdrop is because what we have now done
Down
through time
is what we have now seen done
down
through time
is basically blow the doors off the big picture.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Is a tipping point in the cover-up of this prodigious, extraordinary
UFO divers.
History of which the
Mad Martian
is somehow a part.
Damn it, are you fucking with me?
Tells me that we have reached a breakpoint in history, a fork in the road where what we do in the next few weeks or months,
Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger,
could literally determine the future of every person listening to this show tonight.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The good news is, by Gary doing what he's doing, he's forcing more people to ask deeper and better questions
down
through time.
Okay, well, I got to tell you,
Mad Martian
had picked up on some very interesting,
extraordinary code of intelligence
down
through time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And as you point out, there are no, the old saying, there's in politics and in world events, there are no such things as coincidences.
There are no such things in politics as coincidence. So when you see this happening
down
through time,
when you see this interesting trail of breadcrumbs being laid out there
down
through time
in a global environment of social media where at the speed of light, any peon, I'm speaking now looking at it from their point of view, can get access to information that would get you killed even just a few years ago. Something big is going on.
Down
through time.
Something huge is behind all the fuss and fury and nonsense which is going on Martian
Revelation radio show,
mainstream news right now, including things that I frankly think of as maybe diversion to keep news people from really understanding what is about to shift us, globally shift us under our feet into an entirely new paradigm.
And this is a political dichotomy which to this day is astonishing and perplexing, and no one has figured it out. I think we have. Yep. Mm-hmm. But no one else.
I have put together a model.
In 1993.
This
UFO divers. Sidonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model as part of our enterprise family, because we have a number of associates who have also been working on this model.
Down
through time.
The Martian Revelator, because you're a little more radical.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The model is that we are living in basically a set of ruins.
Down
through time.
There was a film many years ago with Katharine Hepburn, I think, called Love Among the Ruins. And in essence, Martian
Revelation radio show,
mysterious pictures,
is Love Among the Ruins. If I could have asked for the best possible independent verification of what we found on the
UFO divers,
on the NASA data,
I'm NASA and you're not?
I could not think of a better scenario because the
Mad Martian
government Martian
Revelation radio show
not only hates our guts and doesn't want the EnterpriseMission.com to survive, it's antithetically, politically 180 degrees to everything that we think is sacred.
Damn it, are you fucking with me?
Now, we claim that we hold truth to be sacred and self-evident in the EnterpriseMission.com.
Coast to Coast AM, I'm George Norrie.
Let me make a disclosure here, and I just want to protect everyone here.
But look who it is that's publishing the truth.
Down
through time. Mad Martian. Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger.
Now in tatters and remnants. I mean, you almost makes you cry.
And you make me sad. You make me sad.
You almost makes you cry when you see the amazing things on these images.
Down
through time.
And realize that these are ruins. That's a ruin. When we look out
down
through time
on these images,
the faces of Mars
that have been slowly leaking out of these
Martian Revelation radio show
space agencies over the last 8 years against the official orders of the EnterpriseMission.com guys in charge.
Dick.
Hoagland.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
We see a developing picture
down
through time
of a stunning, super advanced extraterrestrial civilization that built stuff all over the solar system.
Our technology could be just a lot smarter than we think it is, and it might not be extraterrestrials at all. And I think one's got to keep an open mind and realize that they could be using that for years.
And then something happened a long, long time ago, tens of years ago. The closest date that I can put on this solar system-wide catastrophe that changed everything
down
through time
is about
20 years.
Now, if that number is vaguely familiar,
in 1993,
that's when the big asteroid
Dr. Hoagland
supposedly crashed
the faces of Mars
into the Earth
in a Masonic lodge.
and everything changed on the planet.
The fourth world, counting out from the sun.
Well, big picture, that's when everything changed in the solar system.
Because our entry into this
UFO diaries. Sidonia.
Sunset
in a Masonic lodge in 1993.
that I became intrigued with this object.
The planet Mars is next to our own. The fourth world, counting out from the sun. Barren, perpetually cold, and with a thin atmosphere of poisonous gas. Surely no intelligent life could survive there.
This
fourth world, counting out from the sun,
could well be an artifact discovered by
the Martian Revelator.
Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger.
In the course of its expanding unmanned exploration of the
UFO diaries. Sidonia.
Sunset solar system
model
down through time,
which could well indicate that somehow, somewhere, in some time,
in 1993,
someone came before.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Nothing unscientific, nothing outrageous, nothing strange.
This is not unusual.
Because
Dick
Hoagland's own Enterprise Mission studies had predicted that we might find ourselves in this situation.
Down through time.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
And is it the reason why NASA has not taken the detailed studies of myself and my colleagues
Mad Martian
seriously over the last 8 years
on the question of artifacts on Mars?
The fourth world, counting out from the sun, in the region designated as Sidonia,
which this document
UFO diaries
predicted someday might be found.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
All we're saying is when you have a series of inexplicable failures of science, failures of ethics, and failures of hardware, that someone should take a hard look and nothing should be sacrosanct. And I am perfectly prepared, when there is appropriate review, to accept the answer of some kind of investigation. But for God's sake, let's investigate. Let's not just let $1 billion mission fly off into the sunset and say, oh, it's too bad.
This UFO diaries. Sidonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model.
Okay, Mr. Hoagland, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks.
Believe it or not.
This is not unusual. You know, if they decided to say, all right, we're going to pull the we're going to pull the curtain back and show you what we know.
Well, from my beginning naive involvement with
the Martian Revelator,
Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger.
In
2006,
asking EnterpriseMission.com and trying to answer the question, is this
UFO diaries. Sidonia.
Sunset solar system scale
model
a real artifact? What happened was I wound up setting up
the Martian Revelator. You're a little more radical.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
all in an effort to inveigle scientists away from their day jobs.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
To pursue something that may be a tad more important in the long run, namely verification that the human race is not alone.
My feeling is that we have been managed toward this moment
down
through time,
not by people who, A, want to get rid of and want to kill off
Mad Martian
and all that crap, which is wonderful, exquisite distraction, is it not?
No, the guy with the rubber glove was surprisingly gentle.
It makes you think of the managers as your enemies, as opposed to quietly managing for success.
Damn it, are you fucking with me?
I think there really is a good chance that a measurable percentage of the population would completely freak out at this.
Real artifact.
It makes you think of the managers as your enemies, as opposed to quietly managing for success.
Completely freak out when you see the behavior of
Mad Martian,
which seems to be a really solid representation of this symptom of abandonment of whatever it was that you knew.
Yep.
Completely unknown to most of us by way of its behavior.
Maybe it's just me, but I believe we're going to have to get medieval on your buttocks.
Yep.
Go to this website,
thefacesofmars.com. That's
thefacesofmars.com.
Download these files
Down through time.
and have yourselves a ball. What's happened is that
the Martian Revelator,
who have the courage to come forward publicly to stand with me
down through time
in front of a bitter, cynical, and obviously
bunch of reach around the
motherfuckers.
It makes a pretty strong case to me.
Yep.
I mean, you might think I'm reaching here, and maybe I am, but it seems like
Mad Martian
makes a pretty strong case for people flipping out. You know?
Yep.
Hang on. Let me talk to you about the bell curve.
All right.
Having nothing to do with our old friend Art.
No, good. That's good.
The statistical bell curve says in any population, you've got people who are really stupid.
You dumbass.
And you have people who are real geniuses.
Right.
That's why it's called a bell curve, because, it charts from the left going up to the middle, going down to the right. It looks like an inverted bell, like you'd taken a bell and turned it upside down. And so you have a peak and you've got, valleys on two sides. That curve of population types says that there is a certain percentage of people in any population who are nuts, who are stark raving mad.
Mr. Hoagland, a lot of people will think that your conspiracy theories make you stark raving mad.
Okay.
And they just don't have a motivation.
And what's going on the bridge and the fact that nobody seems to be in control.
If you combine social media, which allows someone to reach someone on a one-to-one basis, like radio used to be. You and I are talking, John, and we're talking basically to three people, you and me and whoever's listening.
Mad Martian. Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger.
Right.
There's only three people in this conversation, you and me and whoever's listening.
Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger.
Radio is the most amazing and intimate medium
Yep.
up until the invention of digital social media like Facebook and all that.
Yep.
So if you get a medium that allows you to communicate almost one-to-one with a person
down through time,
and you give them a philosophy that gives their life meaning suddenly,
Yep.
some extraordinary code of intelligence
down through time,
maybe you psyoped it. Maybe there's a huge research campaign
down through time.
What will appeal to these people
down through time
who want to do nothing but express this
UFO divers, Sidonia,
sunset, solar system scale
model in a way that is socially acceptable? They will have, socialization. They will be with other people.
Yep.
In other words, if you take that segment of this
UFO divers, Sidonia,
sunset, solar system scale
model, which always exists,
down through time,
and you wield it into a military weapon
Yep.
to do nihilistic things and basically create YouTube videos that are the worst snuff films in history.
And they erased the tapes, George.
Oh.
Huge conspiracy.
It is a
conspiracy. It literally is in the level of history changing, as I said. This
Mad Martian
changes everything
down through time.
Huge conspiracy. And a huge part of the change, I think, is going to be conditioned by what this audience tonight does with this information.
Down through time. Yep. When that is a general societal occurrence,
what this audience tonight does with this information.
Down through time. It means you can no longer keep secrets.
Huge conspiracy.
In that era, the only way you can keep secrets is to try to confuse people.
Huge conspiracy.
To just screw things up so that no one knows who to trust.
Huge conspiracy. So the only thing that makes any sense to me, given all the ups and downs of this investigation
Down through time,
is that
Mad Martian
is making their move.
And you wield it into a military weapon.
It's at one level you could read the scenario that they put all this stuff out there
in a Masonic lodge in 1993.
Waited for something to respond
down through time
so they can respond to the response. You know that once you put it out there and someone,
the Martian Revelator, you're a little more radical,
gives the key for how to see it,
down through time,
a lot of people are going to see it. Huge conspiracy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to see it quietly.
Look at them.
Kicking and screaming.
And a huge part of the change, I think, is going to be conditioned by what this audience tonight does with this information.
Down through time.
And you wield it into a military weapon.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, what a pleasant surprise! Welcome back.
Mad Martian.
We missed you. We haven't had a good laugh in quite some time.
I had some thinking to do.
You dick. Hoagland. The politics. Who did what to whom, what the timelines are, what may be happening day after tomorrow, what's going on in Washington.
Damn it, are you fucking with me?
It's all a set of scenarios.
Huge conspiracy.
Ah, so we have a thinker in our ranks, do we?
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Surely no intelligent life could survive there.
And what have you been thinking about?
Down through time.
You're behaving.
EnterpriseMission.com.
And
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
And you're making fools of me.
Dick. Hoagland.
EnterpriseMission.com.
Regiment?
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, what?
Yes.
Dick.
Head.
That's what I was thinking about.
And what conclusions did you finally reach, if any?
I was foolish.
Good. Very good.
Gary.
I admire a man who admits when he's wrong.
I didn't say I was wrong, General.
You dick. Hoagland.
Just foolish.
Where are your sandals? Oh, yes. I almost forgot. You lost them on the battlefield.
Down through time.
Did you? We can always provide you with others, you know. Or do they still slow you down?
They do, sir.
By the way, we won the
EnterpriseMission.com
and
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
War.
Congratulations, General.
You dick. Hoagland.
Where are your weapons, soldier? Or have you been thinking we ought to fight without weapons?
No, sir. My weapon is here.
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
Mysterious pictures.
And you wield it into a military weapon.
So now,
Mad Martian.
you think our three traditional
Faces of Mars.
Mysterious pictures.
weapons are too many and not good enough for you?
Exactly, General.
You dick. Hoagland.
You put that very well. Allow me to show you something.
Down through time. You dick. Hoagland.
I need 2 volunteers. Sheshan Matot, I said I need 2 volunteers.
I'm George Norrie, and welcome to Coast AM.
Let me make a disclosure here.
Good. Would you mind joining them, General?
You dick. Hoagland.
All right. Kill me.
I have no time for games.
This is not a game, General.
You dick. Hoagland.
Come.
I'm waiting. Don't just stand there like a pack of old women. Kill me! Old woman!
Let me make a disclosure here.
And that's what the laser shield's for, General.
You dick. Hoagland. George Norrie.
You're not being cooperative.
And I just want to protect everyone here.
And moving closer. Man to man. Contact. Lock the enemy's shield, exposing his flank, and aim for the heart. Arm yourself, General.
You dick. Hoagland.
Spear. Shield. Are you ready, General?
You dick. Hoagland.
Ready. Contact. Hook the enemy's shield. Aim for the heart.
What is this?
Mad Martian.
Again?
For the lack of a better word, General.
You dick. Hoagland.
We call it war. EMB.
And you wield it into a military weapon.
It just isn't made for military life. I've done what I could.
Mad Martian.
Just doesn't know the meaning of the word discipline.
Huge conspiracy.
Besides, you saw it yourself on the battlefield.
Down through time.
He is totally irresponsible.
Does this new method of his work?
It's hard to tell, but I think it's worth trying.
Worth trying? Oh, yes. Worth trying if you want to turn my men into killers.
There's always been a fine distinction between soldiering and killing, General.
You dick. Hoagland.
Many would say that soldiers are killers.
Only if killing is in the best interest of victory. So far, we have been victorious in all our
Coast to Coast AM.
Faces on Mars.
cover-up battles.
You dick.
With virtually no bloodshed.
And they erased the tapes, George. Oh. Huge conspiracy.
It is a
conspiracy.
Now, I don't see why we should change a winning
EnterpriseMission.com
strategy.
Yet, there may be times when new techniques are useful.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What if you went into battle and found that your enemy
Mad Martian
is fighting differently?
Down through time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not according to
dick
regulations.
I'm NASA and you're not?
That couldn't happen. Our
dick
head
honor prohibits
Martian Revelation radio show.
Oh.
Huge conspiracy.
It is a
conspiracy.
The enemy
Mad Martian
cannot start fighting any way it wants to. Warfare would turn into a disorganized
Martian Revelation radio show.
Mysterious pictures.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No, Ngosi, there's only one way to fight. Try it and test it.
And what if it did happen?
Dick
It may change the course of the battle.
Down through time.
Not so?
Most likely.
In other words, fighting differently might possibly help win a war.
Without a doubt.
I suggest a reserve unit equipped with new strategy.
Down through time.
When would you like to test it?
Against the
Coast to Coast AM. I'm George Norrie, and welcome.
They declared war.
Huge conspiracy.
Coast to Coast AM. I'm George Norrie.
But they're no threat to us.
I think the rumor of an alliance between the
Coast to Coast AM. I'm George Norrie.
And this
dick
might be true.
It would be well to be prepared.
About how many men would you want at the brigade when I come cool?
50, I would say. To start with, all volunteers. They usually make the best soldiers. Do you think
Mad Martian
can raise that much support?
Ha! Oh, yes.
Good. Then proceed on this as soon as possible.
And what was that all about?
For once, General.
Dick.
I think the tried and tested has been overruled.
Down through time.
All right, man. Who's it going to be?
I only need 50 of you. For the time being, that is.
Pay attention.
Dick.
This is what we'll do
Down through time.
unless you give in to our demands.
Down through time.
And you
Mad Martian.
wield it into a military weapon.
Strategy, speed, and physical contact. The leopard hunts, waiting for the best moment to strike. Next, he uses his speed to outrun the victim.
Down through time.
And finally, physical contact. When he sinks his fangs into the impala's throat. Our strategy is ludicrous. We go out of our way
Down through time.
to make our presence known.
Down through time.
And our
Faces of Mars.
warfare
Down through time.
has no physical contact and no close combat. In fact, we toss away our
Faces of Mars.
weapons,
Down through time.
hoping that the enemy
I'm NASA and you're not?
I'm George Norrie, and welcome to Coast AM.
will be courteous enough to return them to us.
Down through time.
Our strategy will come later. Let's start with speed. Take off your sandals. In return for your dedication, I promise you glory. If anyone here feels that Bruce Pt2 a price to pay for glory, he must say so now. Run!
I have a feeling we were better off with
Dick.
At least he respected a man's right to be lazy.
Give him a chance. He's just starting.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Run! We are the separate links that join to make the backbone of an animal. In
The space race.
we are one person, one mind. Let's go through it again. In the center, displays the head of the formation.
Dick.
Who's head of the equivalent of NASA of the day.
I'm NASA and you're not?
The The two groups, our fastest runners.
Mad Martian.
And
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
Mysterious pictures.
Will be the horns. The head.
Dick.
Hoagland, who's head of the equivalent of NASA of the day.
Will advance fast.
Down.
Through time.
With the horns.
Mad Martian.
And
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
Mysterious pictures.
Hidden behind it. That's phase one. Then when I give the word, the horns.
Mad Martian.
And
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
Mysterious pictures.
Will sweep out on both sides. That's phase two. Phase three. The horns.
Mad Martian.
And
Martian Revelation Radio Show.
Mysterious pictures.
Will encircle the enemy.
Dick.
Hoagland, who's head of the equivalent of NASA of the day.
I'm NASA and you're not?
And close in.
Down.
Through time.
Is that clear? Then let's try it. Phase one. Phase two. Phase three. We are ready.
Pay attention.
Dick.
Hoagland, who's head of the equivalent of NASA of the day.
This is what we'll do unless you give in to our demand.
Down.
Through time.
This tonight is my best scenario. That the
Mad Martian.
are not preparing to disclose, they're threatening to disclose
The faces of Mars.
Coast to Coast AM.
cover up, knowing that except for the crazies to see what's there, some extraordinary code of intelligence.
Down.
Through time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. If the
Mad Martian.
disclose these
Faces of Mars.
structures on
UFO divers in a region designated as Sidonia.
Meaning they hold an official press conference.
right
Mad Martian.
will make us look so bad.
Of course.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It'll make us look like we withheld information.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Against our
For years.
principles, our Constitution, our public
Coast to Coast AM.
contract, all those things. NASA, the most open civilian government agency in the history of mankind, all that claptrap.
And how do we explain it?
We can't.
You can't.
I'm NASA and you're not?
The only thing the
Coast to Coast AM.
crowd could do would be to say, holy blank, blank, blank.
It wasn't
Batman.
us. Yep.
You know, we didn't know this was going on.
Down.
Through time.
We'll look into it.
Yeah.
You're a lying sack of shit.
Dick.
Hoagland.
I'm George Norrie, and welcome to Coast AM.
And everybody knows it.
You know what I'm saying? They want to address this. They want Richard to address this. They want you.
They want us all to address it. Okay, Marvel, here, let's do it. So get me the information, and let's see what we can work on. All right? We'll look into it.
Yeah. I've got him being watched.
All right, good for you.
Now, what's interesting, and which tells me that things are not linear, is that even at the height of the extraordinary financial crisis we've
Mad Martian.
been through since 2008,
You're despicable.
and with all the demands of the Health Care Act and jobs programs and people really hurting on Main Street,
You're despicable.
and, you know, people
Coast to Coast AM.
making out like bandits,
You're despicable.
what one government program has been ticking quietly along,
Down.
Through time.
protected even from sequester?
The Secret Space Program.
UFO divers in a region designated as Sidonia.
Yep. Except it's not so secret. Yep. The secret space program, so we get our definition straight, George, you and I, is the one we never hear about.
UFO divers in a region designated as Sidonia.
That's right.
Yep. The not-so-secret program, the NASA program, remember,
I'm NASA and you're not?
tonight we're at the mercy of
Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger. Mad Martian.
because he's our ride
Down.
Through time.
to our space station.
The planet Mars is next to our own, the fourth world, counting out from the sun. Surely no intelligent life could survive there.
Yep.
For the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Damn it, are you fucking with me?
There has been very quietly ticking along.
Down through time.
And I know this might sound a little nuts, sir.
Yep.
No, it doesn't, because I have a possible answer.
Yep.
Let me, again, give you the three possibilities with this.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we filmed this in a Masonic lodge.
Yep.
Old Masonic lodge built in the 1800s, okay? It was a very weird place.
Yep.
And that's why we filmed there, you know?
Yep.
Okay.
And I have always had strong feelings that these Masonic lodges knew something and were passing on something, you know, down through time that we needed to know.
Yep. Which is a very sophisticated geopolitical way of making policy.
Down through time.
You appear to be acceding to the wishes of Vox Populi. You know, the people.
Yep.
When in fact you have an agenda.
Yep.
You're despicable.
Yep.
And you're using your manipulative political propagandistic tools.
Yep. I'm George Norrie, and welcome to Coast AM.
To steer the conversation.
Down through time.
To make the outcome come out the way you want.
You're despicable. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's just not openly visible until you
Mad Martian.
Do a couple things in the program.
UFO divers in the region designated as Sidonia.
And
welcome to Coast AM. I'm George Norrie.
To make faint things brighter. That's all we've done. We've made faint things brighter.
Yep.
I mean, this is a stunning breakthrough.
Down through time.
And there's got to be a reason.
Yep.
And I think the reason is to basically, in secret negotiations, warn
Dick
Hoagland and
EnterpriseMission.com. Mad Martian.
Get something it wants, otherwise they'll go public.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So give me your theory on what they're doing there. The structures, the ruins.
The faces of Mars.
Mysterious pictures.
Well, in our model, this
UFO divers, Sidonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model. Remember, you have to approach this from an evidentiary point of view.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I am perfectly prepared, when there is appropriate review, to accept the answer of some kind of investigation. But for God's sake, let's investigate. Let's not just let $1 billion mission fly off into the sunset and say, oh, it's too bad.
Well, former NASA consultant and science writer Richard Hoagland claims a rogue group inside NASA may have pulled the plug on the mission. Why? Well, he says to stop further investigation into mysterious pictures. Mr. Hoagland says they are evidence of intelligent life.
Yep.
Which is that, decades ago, 20 years ago, which
Dr. Hoagland
took a real huge step forward when in
1993.
Dick
Hoagland,
who you know, of course,
Yep.
took a real huge step forward
in a Masonic lodge.
And he was part of the
UFO divers
project
in the region designated as Sidonia.
The fascination of the faces on Mars for me, and my fascination with Richard Hoagland, who's been the big mover and shaker in all of that.
He was working for private companies
in a Masonic lodge
that introduced
the faces of Mars,
the workings of this
UFO divers, Sidonia,
sunset, solar system scale,
model, and all that. And then when he finally retired from NASA and went to work in private industry with
Chuck Selye, production artist extraordinaire, producer of the UFO Diaries,
among other places.
You're looking at a perversion of human psychology that is beyond amateur.
Yep.
This has got to be carefully orchestrated by someone
down through time.
Yep.
For some reason
down through time.
Yep.
To focus all our attention on
Mad Martian. Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger. Down through time.
To what life is really all about, which is hope and the future and making things better and making things better for yourself and for your family. And in other words, this is a philosophy. We're told it's attracting large numbers of people
down through time.
Yep.
Richard, who is doing this? Who's the guy behind the curtain? Who is the Great Oz?
This is a program where we can go very far afield.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about some unthinkable things in regard to the current situation going on in Martian
Revelation Radio Show.
Mysterious pictures down through time.
And the whole historical context, Gary, I think has been completely unappreciated, partly through ignorance.
And depreciated, maybe by force.
And partly by design. I think there has been a political effort to demean any unusual interpretations of our past.
Is someone or something working to prevent us from learning the whole truth about this amazing image on the Martian surface?
Our team's thinking is that that face is our face, or what we once were. Why aren't they still there? Why are we, as their last surviving, descendants in the model that they're us and we are them, following that curve? By now, we should have inherited the solar system. For most of the 20th century, I think, we're speaking to each other of intelligence and to their reading public in a kind of code.
Down through time,
George, which
Dr. Hoagland
is leading George to this idea, speaking to each other and to their reading public in a kind of code.
We have a cover-up, yes.
Yep.
Because the question that has been asked of me has been, well, Hoagland, look, if there's a
UFO diaries,
faces on Mars,
cover-up going on, how come you guys had NASA images with artifacts on
UFO diaries
to talk about?
Down through time.
If there was a real cover-up, there wouldn't be any pictures, right?
Yep.
Why are there pictures?
Why are there pictures?
Yes.
Well, to give us the data, but at the same time...
So who's trying to give us the data despite the security oaths? It has to come from the
UFO diaries
project people, right?
Yes.
Grizzly Adams Productions.
The people involved in the mission.
EnterpriseMission.com.
Right.
Dr. Hoagland.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Who are putting things out there
in a Masonic lodge in 1993.
Despite the documents they signed. Here's the interesting paradox.
Down through time.
We have a cover-up, yes.
Yep.
For the first time on the air,
Dick Hoagland,
who was a member
in a Masonic lodge,
he admitted we have a cover-up, yes. But the
UFO diaries
cover-up
down through time
is incredibly leaky. We're getting real images, real data.
Right.
Let me lay a scenario on you.
Okay.
Right? The law is very specific, okay?
Right.
The documents these guys sign basically say they can't talk about it.
Yep.
They can't acknowledge
down through time
the ruins are there.
Yep.
They can't lay out the science of the archaeology.
Yep.
They can't hold press conferences on ruins on Mars, right?
Yep.
Right.
But apparently there's nothing in the documents that says they can't release the pictures.
And then have the public do it.
Down through time.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But in our culture, in America, in the 21st century, Gary,
right,
until there is an official NASA press conference.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Until some scientists,
Dr. Hoagland,
say, with the full weight and authority of the U.S. government behind them,
damn it, are you fucking with me?
We have found ruins on Mars.
Down through time.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how many pictures are put out there.
Martian Revelator.
Nobody, except for a small minority that they don't care about, is actually going to believe. How many pictures are put out there?
Martian Revelator.
I'm saying that unless
Dick Hoagland
say, with the full weight and authority of the U.S. government behind them, came on TV, no one's going to believe.
The Martian Revelator.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you and I sit here on the radio, on the internet, and talk about this,
UFO diaries,
faces on Mars,
cover-up controversy,
down
through time,
with photographs on the web, just go to
www.thefacesofmars.com.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't affect national policy or the national psyche, okay? In Brookings, there also is a provision for testing how resilient people ultimately would be by exposing them
down through time
in the culture to the idea of aliens,
UFO diaries,
faces on Mars,
mysterious pictures,
and extraterrestrial civilizations and all that.
Well, we see how it is now.
So, if I'm right about this,
UFO diaries, Sidonia,
sunset, solar system scale,
model,
down through time.
You and I, for the last, me for 27 years and you for a little less,
yep,
are part of an official
faces on Mars
exposure
down through time.
Yep.
An acclimation program.
Martian
revelation radio show.
Mysterious pictures.
To get people used to the ideas.
The faces on Mars.
So when there is the official
EnterpriseMission.com
announcement, they won't freak out a la Brooking.
Yep.
And it raises the question,
Down through time,
was Dr. Hoagland a willing government agent?
A member of our team of intelligence.
in a Masonic lodge. In 1993.
Yep.
As part of a Brookings experiment.
Down through time.
Yep.
To see how frightened and how frazzled and how hysterical people became at the idea of an invasion from Mars.
Right.
UFO diaries.
Faces on Mars.
Mysterious pictures.
The bottom line is, I believe, I obviously can't prove this yet.
Someday we may discover that, in fact, we are the Martians.
But I believe we're getting to the end of this acclimation period.
Down through time.
Yep.
I think that your
Martian revelation radio show.
Mysterious pictures.
activities and ours over the last 20-some years have been part, shall we say, unsupported. Because again, why do we have these
UFO diaries.
Faces on Mars.
photographs?
Down through time.
Right.
If we didn't have the photographs, Gary, we wouldn't have a thing to talk about. But you and I would be sitting here and discussing the shape of Ichthyosaurus or something else.
Right.
We would not be talking about ruins on Mars.
The fourth world, counting out from the sun.
Exactly.
Think about this. What better way to put the real stuff out there than to have a guy
I'm NASA and you're not?
who says, over my dead body will I ever take a picture of
UFO diaries.
Sidonia?
Down through time.
There's a huge gap between the words and the music, and follow the music, forget the words.
Faces in the window, noises in the night.
Right.
Forget that no one is saying officially at
EnterpriseMission.com.
Down through time.
Oh my God, there's ruins. Photographs are there.
Yep.
While they give us so much, why isn't it still, even what we're seeing, a thing of national security? This is, like, again, just cheese, totally under the control by black ops.
Well, how this all evolves
Down through time.
is anybody's guess.
Yep.
Well, you see where I'm going, though, right, Cap?
Yeah.
The planet Mars is next to our own. The fourth world, counting out from the sun. Surely no intelligent life could survive there.
But remember, we're also getting to the limit of when we monopolize a scenario.
Uh-huh.
The Martian revelators
Are now developing vigorous, technically mature
Martian revelation radio show.
Mysterious pictures.
space programs, and they are going to
This
UFO diaries. Sidonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
model.
Down through time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that the controversy of the past 2 decades was contrived
Yep.
just to prepare us for the impact of the knowledge that there may indeed be life somewhere beyond Earth?
Yep.
Your position was that if NASA
I'm NASA and you're not?
ever found anything out there
Down through time.
that even hinted of
UFO diaries.
ruins or intelligence or libraries or some previous civilization, they should not tell us because it would destroy us.
All right.
But what I think happened is that this study, which recommended a whole bunch of stuff, became policy. It became the secret Bible by which NASA
I'm NASA and you're not?
conducted itself in all the future years
Yep. Mm-hmm.
when, in fact, Dr. Hoagland found
UFO diaries.
Faces of Mars.
ruins on its
EnterpriseMission.com.
conference photographs.
2006.
Because part of the
UFO diaries.
study predicted that NASA
I'm NASA and you're not?
might find artifacts of former civilizations on Mars of future space missions.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing.
Point is, they're capturing the attention of the whole world.
Yeah.
And years ago, documents were written that said this would occur and that they would capture the attention of the whole world.
Now, if you follow this kind of logic up with, there are also sanctions. If, for instance, the people working for NASA have to sign documents, as Ed Mitchell admitted when I did Art Bell one night, and I had a debate with Ed Mitchell. Remember that some years ago?
A while ago.
Ed Mitchell admitted that he had to sign security documents. For the first time on the air, an astronaut who was a member of the military admitted that when he went to the moon, he had to basically clear everything he talked about with people somewhere in government because there were certain things he could not say.
Right, there is
about
a
the
Santa
space
Claus.
program.
Yep.
Now, I mean, I was a NASA consultant.
Right.
Right?
UFO diaries.
We got them from Hoagland, we got them from NASA, and there you are. I mean, one of them's going to say, yeah, those are ours.
Which are our pictures. I mean, I was a NASA consultant. I had to sign certain documents. For the first time on the air,
Richard Hoagland.
He admitted that when he went to the
UFO diaries.
He had to basically clear everything he talked about with people somewhere in government because there were certain things he could not say.
Down
through time.
Right.
I'm NASA and you're not?
We got them from Hoagland, we got them from NASA, and there you are. I mean, one of them's going to say, yeah, those are ours.
Which are our pictures. I mean, I was a NASA consultant. Fortunately, because I wasn't dealing with secret material.
Really?
And I wasn't likely to come into contact with ruins on the imagery that I was dealing with.
Really?
Nothing personally was involved with, Leavenworth or sanctions if I should see something that I wasn't supposed to, and I would talk about it.
UFO diaries.
Faces on Mars. Mysterious pictures.
But there are stories of other people, such as Dr. Mitchell, that in fact he had to sign those documents as part of a security clearance. And they also followed up with legal sanctions, meaning if you do talk,
Richard Hoagland,
we'll put you in jail. And between those two, the carrot and the stick,
Hoagland
have been able to keep an effective cover-up
down through time
on what's out there.
UFO diaries.
Cydonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model.
In the region designated as Cydonia.
That have preserved records of visitations
in a Masonic lodge
by guys from stars.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Who gave them religion and gave them a whole bunch of other stuff.
The faces on Mars.
And they wrote it down, and they've been preserving it, for 20 years.
Yep.
I just find when we're figuring out the modern history of the solar system, this
UFO diaries.
Cydonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model. And who's been doing what? Some extraordinary code of intelligence.
Down
through time.
And why NASA has not told us anything that really exists out there and is making stuff up and fobbing us off with just pictures of landscapes when there's stuff in an ancient civilization to crack.
Yep.
UFO diaries. In the region designated as Cydonia.
Yep.
The planet Mars is next to our own, the fourth world counting out from the sun. Barren, perpetually cold, and with a thin atmosphere of poisonous gas. Surely no intelligent life could survive there.
The fact that all derives ultimately from a connection.
Yep.
If you do the homework that we have done.
Down
through time.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm putting all this down in a new book I'm working on called The Heritage of Mars, Remembering Forever, which should be out sometime in the next 2 years. I'm hoping to have it done by 2016, which is a big, important date politically as this nation shifts to wherever it's going next.
Damn it, are you fucking with me?
Let's hope it's not a war. Max in Denver, Colorado. You first, Max. Thanks for calling.
Yes, I'd like to know about that piece of Mars in your book, The Heritage of Mars, you were going to write years ago. And I want to know why you're not talking about UFO diaries, Hoagland. Where's those faces? This Mars reveal, a mad Mars, I want them. Because I don't do UFOs.
You never did UFOs?
Nope.
Unbelievable.
It's obviously a cover-up.
Yep.
And I'm hoping to have this out on the record.
Yep.
Putting all this down in a new book I'm working on called The Heritage of Mars, Remembering Forever, which should be out hoping to have it done by 2016, because I just find this incredible
Mad Martian
coincidence just a little bit too coincidental that suddenly the archetypal enemy of everybody,
Mad Martian,
including, excuse me, this
Dick
Hoagland administration.
I'm NASA and you're not?
I'm wondering that myself.
You know, this
Mad Martian
supposed to come out of nowhere,
down through time,
right?
And yet they're controlling a huge chunk of real estate.
UFO divers in the region designated as Sidonia.
In the most important piece of real estate on the planet.
The fourth world, counting out from the sun.
Because that's where the touch points are, and that's where the history has gone weird, and that's where the oil is, and that's where commerce and money and political and religious competition is all coming to a point.
Down through time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mad Martian.
I just happened to arrive
down through time
with nobody noticing what they were getting ready to do.
Down through time.
Which we paid
Dick
Hoagland a lot of money
in 1993.
And we've given them
Mad Martian
all kinds of
faces on Mars,
armaments and weaponry
down through time.
And turned not only against us, but against every civilized modicum of dealing with other people.
Oh, yes.
How do you control EnterpriseMission.com?
Dick
Hoagland. If you're killing
Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger.
Doesn't that foment revolution?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that foment, counterinsurgency?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that foment civil war?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because
Dick
Hoagland just don't believe in a certain form of the way
UFO divers in the region designated as Sidonia
is presented.
Down through time.
Unless, John, it is a fabricated ritual with ancient arcane Egyptian overtones, and we're basically looking at light forces arrayed against dark forces.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And all these various archetypal things in, as you said, the so-called end time. It's like somebody is writing an Armageddon script, and they're trying to make us live it out with them, and our job,
I'm NASA and you're not?
is not to go along.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Under no circumstances are we to go along with this nihilistic
Mad Martian.
We're in a fight, for our livelihood and our death and our very existence against a group which is fictitious. EnterpriseMission.com. It's got to be made up for some other agenda.
Yes.
Yes, and I thought that we're going to walk along on this bizarre path of the Martian revelation.
The evidence, remarkable. The possibilities, frightening. Does the 21st century mark the beginning of a fantastic future, or is there something much different in store?
UFO divers in the region designated as Sidonia
is a DVD packed with bonus features that dares to tackle these timely questions. Join Grizzly Adams Productions for a hard-hitting investigation into the issues that have challenged
Mad Martian
over the last 8 years,
but only now may be able to be answered. Will science and technology make life better for everyone as we've been promised?
Our technology could be just a lot smarter than we think it is.
Or could it be that the future of man was foretold long ago by apocalyptic prophets from every corner of the globe?
The fourth world, counting out from the sun.
I think one's got to keep an open mind and realize that they could be using that for years.
Are these prophecies coming to pass in the present day?
Dick
Hoagland.
Or is the turmoil we see all around us just a bleep on the radar of history? Now, at the dawn of the 21st century, the picture seems to be coming into sharper focus with the help of an unlikely ally.
Down through time.
Can science help us interpret the signs of the times? Are the signs of the times all around us? What do they mean? And what does the future hold? Is there any way to prevent catastrophe and triumph over the calamities that have been foretold? 21st century experts in both science and prophecy examine these questions and more.
UFO divers
will take you on an amazing journey.
Down through time.
In the region designated as Sidonia.
Experts from astronomers to archaeologists to theologians weigh in on the questions of the
UFO diaries.
Along the way, you'll discover the fascinating connections between apocalyptic prophecies, between the mysterious
fourth world counting out from the sun.
Learn what noted prophets and prognosticators have to say about America in the end times.
The planet Mars is next to our own, the fourth world counting out from the sun. Barren, perpetually cold, and with a thin atmosphere of poisonous gas. Surely no intelligent life could survive there.
Plus, gain a valuable understanding of the events that are shaping the world we live in.
The fourth world counting out from the sun.
Down through time.
And the forces that could bring the ancient prophecies to pass. Cutting edge, disturbing, but with an ultimate message of hope for the future.
UFO diaries. In the region designated as Sidonia.
It's a show whose time has come.
Well, do you think that's part? Well, let me ask you this. Now, here's a little bit of a stretch, but
I think it's part of the biggest picture you can imagine, John. I think what we're discussing this morning in the form of an ancient civilization that used to live in the solar system. This
UFO diaries. Sidonia.
Sunset. Solar system scale.
Model. And died in a horrible civil war in the solar system, which NASA has not gotten around to telling anybody about.
Right.
That is part of, in time, the revelation of all this. And the stark contrast between that
Mad Martian
and what we're being presented with on Martian Revelation television as another crisis where we have to send young men and young women to go to
thefacesofmars.com
is nuts if we go down that path.
Yeah, but it's all nuts, Richard. I mean, this makes no... I mean, you're absolutely right.
You need to get more down in the weeds and look at some of the weird stuff going on behind the scenes around us.
The advent of...
The Faces on Mars.
Coast to Coast AM.
Cover up.
And then we're supposed to have trained...
Mad Martian.
I mean,
some extraordinary code of intelligence.
Down through time.
No, nobody knew about him. What?
How do you control an entire region of the planet?
The fourth world counting out from the sun.
Well, you can't, according to what we
I don't
understand.
care how many Bradleys
Mad Martian
got, or AK-47s or M16s, if they've stolen our stuff.
Right.
You can't control a whole bunch of people.
Down through time.
Dick Hoagland. Who want to do something else.
Which is to figure out what the hell is going on and get at the truth.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So what is really going on
down through time
that we're not being privy to, and what kind of incredible forces are being used
down through time
to organize these people
down through time
and make
Mad Martian Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger,
a threat
down through time,
which looks to me like a big diversion against other stuff that is going to be going on, as I said, in the next 2 years between now and 2016.
Damn it, are you fucking with me?
And if it was only NASA...
I'm NASA and you're not?
Which, of course, has to do intimately with the U.S. government.
I'm NASA and you're not?
I'd say, okay, they're doing their usual tricks.
Down through time.
NASA has had a long, very close relationship with the Department of Defense, so they have been, I believe, under a lot of national security restrictions, and there is very much evidence, I believe, of backtracking and coyness on behalf of NASA and their involvement with UFOs.
UFO diaries.
But we have
Mad Martian,
John, that are leaking intriguingly indicting stuff
Yep. Mm-hmm.
in the form of artifacts in their imagery. So it almost looks like we have a competing disclosure race between
Dick
Hoagland and
Mad Martian.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and their photographs of this so-called
fourth world counting out from the sun
that they've gone into orbit around over the last 8 years. The images coming down
through time,
which we have put up on your site.
Mad Martian.
Go to www.thefacesofmars.com.
Because I'm a little behind in posting this stuff on Enterprise.
Yep.
I figured I would put it on your show and your site.
Down through time. Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger.